And welcome back to the channel. Well, did you steal yourself a almost free S2 Cabrio last week? I did at the 11th hour, so here it is. Now, I was wondering what to do with mine, and I thought you might be wondering what to do with yours. So here's a very quick idea. I took some inspiration from the car that McTony had already customized and some of the parts that were on the car and took it from there. So this is the 992 generation as imagined by Aero Design, and I've done my best to match some of the Aero Design parts, I say some of which were already on the car. So my idea here was to make a slightly more aggressive looking Cabrio. I've got a nice purple one matching one of the Porsche colours. You'll have seen it in one of the PTS videos. And I like that one very much, and it looks really nice, but I say I wanted a slightly more tuned, slightly more aggressive example here, and I think that this particular one looks rather good. So what we need to do now is get it in the workshop and see how to build it, and as always we'll keep some photos of the real car on hand so we can see where we've had to make our compromises. Please note that you do need to put the hood down, take the car into Los Santos Customs and do at least one modification. If you do that and then take it out, the hood will remain down permanently. So if, like me, you like to store the car hood down, do that. If you like to store the car hood up, well, ignore me, just do the mods with the hood up. So I like to differentiate it from the hardtop car. I don't think there's any point in trying to make it look like the hardtop car. So here we go. So I've gone full on the armour. I haven't done the brakes. I've been told recently that it makes almost no difference, so unless you're racing the car, perhaps it's money well saved. So we'll see. Onto the front bumpers here. Of all these bumpers, the stock one is actually by far the closest, because of course these are tuner parts onto a stock car. On the rear bumper I wanted as much exposed as I could, and I think the bumper grill delete gets the closest to this particular way of building. I have gone engine level 4, I think that gives decent bang for the buck. For the exhaust, turbo exhaust 2, and I'm pretty sure this is what came on the car from McTony. I just wanted plenty of exhaustage here, plenty to see at the back to simulate the Aero Design car. Just stock on the fenders. And whilst I'm at it, I think most of the turbos, or a lot of the turbos, do have an intake here. So in a way, if you build a non-turbo, you do get a little bit closer to this. Hood, I've mentioned before, you could go smooth. You'd be missing the two ridges, or you could go stock, where you'd be gaining this inlet that is actually not required. Horn up to you, lights up to you, they're pretty decent as stock. For livery, well, this is pretty much up to you. At the end of the day, I'm just looking here at a show car, but I thought, well, I'll try and do something similar. So the black Vista graphics, putting something on the side and a stripe at the middle, these seem to work pretty well. Plate is up to you. I made a slight mistake. I was warned not to take the car, otherwise I would lose that unique plate. I didn't realise that meant I couldn't even hit the claim button, so that was game over at that point, but never mind. Put your own plate on. For respray, trying to stay away from crew colours for this one for you, so I've just gone for rolled steel to give a similar light grey to the one in the picture, and I think light grey is quite a good colour for these sort of tuned up ones. Secondary is affecting the mirrors, I think only on here. I've left it classic black. And for trim, I could barely see the inside, but I've seen a lot of these grey ones with a sort of dark red interior, so I thought that would be a nice contrast, so I've gone garnet red. You could of course just go black. For skirts, I wanted a little bit more in the way of wings than this, but race skirt is the most aggressive, so that's the one I took. And for splitters, I want of course a massive wing up here, so you could either take this GT splitter, which is not totally correct, or perhaps you could say, well, I'll have canards instead. So one of these two I think gets the closest to Aero Design. Spoiler, this was my inspiration to do an Aero Design car to start with, because this carbon stock deck lid which McTony put on, that's exactly the one that you get from Aero Design. It's tempting to go with this bottom carbon high ducktail, but when you really look at the pictures, this is more ducktail than Aero design, so we'll stick with that one. Suspension, take it all the way down. I think even another ½ inch I'd go if I could, but it's pretty good. Again, I'm missing transmission for the reasons discussed. I'm missing turbo definitely because I'm not building a turbo and I don't want the whoosh. For the wheels, in the track category, the Forged Star are very close and it's hard to see in the light. Can I turn it around a bit? But I've painted them in dark ivory. I want a copper colour, but as you know, dark copper, certainly on PC without HSW, dark copper is basically gold. So dark ivory is sort of dark copper. I have not forgotten my bulletproof tyres. No point in doing the windows if, like me, you store the car hood down all the time. Otherwise you might like a light smoke on them. That completes the build of our Aero design car. So I'm pretty pleased with this. Might be a nice idea for you, for yours. We're definitely a bit more limited with the Cabrio. Got some better sunlight now. We're definitely a bit more limited with, I think, this Cabrio than we are with the hardtop in some of the things that we can do. We're also limited. We don't have a selection of fixed rear spoilers, and there's quite a few cars, for example the Tech Art version of this car, that put a spoiler on the back, a fixed spoiler, and remove any raising spoiler. We just don't have those options here, and of course typically, despite the millions of 911s that are raced all over the world, they don't race cabrios. So I think that this is a rather nice thing to build, considering that we can't make anything else. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I don't normally do one-take videos because I honestly don't think I'm very good at them, but I just wanted to squeeze something out for you despite the fact I'm rather busy at the moment. So if you liked it, please smash that like button, it would mean a lot. If you like real cars in GTA, then please do subscribe to the channel. There's plenty more content out there, and a lot of it does include some smooth cinematics rather than this quick rush through. But above all, thank you so much for watching.